been exploring this. This is our fourth week in this theme, and we have been exploring how to manage the gap between the incubation of our God-driven dreams and the divinely directed way of moving into those dreams and the actual tangible fruition of them. So we've been using this metaphor of a bridge. The last few Sundays and today is all about building, actually revealing the bridge over the gap to get from the incubation to the manifestation. And we've been quoting from this book, The Alchemist, by, it's a fable, and it was written in the late 80s by author Paulo Coelho. And it's about a shepherd boy who had a dream, a really big dream. And he reluctantly decides to pursue that dream. And in that pursuit, he definitely has a gap. Maybe you can think of a time in your life where you had something you were called to do, you wanted to do, and there was like this gap of not knowing how to get from here to here. This is where you want to be. If you recall, I ended, last week we had Reverend Barbara Jakubowski gave the talk. I was in Mexico, enjoying myself. But anyway, so we skipped a little bit of the bridge, but I heard we talked about love. So that's right there. That's the cohesive part. So, but I ended 2 weeks ago with the boy saying to the alchemist, "So what should I do now?" And I promised that I would give the answer to that question today. But before I do that, I want to back up and just share a little bit about what I have been reading from the book, and just admitting a little bit to tighten it up. And if you weren't here, you'll kind of get the gist of where this story is going, and if you were here, you'll be reminded. So this is a conversation between the boy and the alchemist, for whom he has been looking throughout this book, because he believes that the alchemist will have the answers to how he can find his dream. The boy is trying to decide if he should continue going after this dream. And at that point, it's looking pretty impossible and very difficult. "My heart is afraid it will have to suffer," the boy told the alchemist one night as they looked up at the moonless sky. "Tell your heart, no heart ever suffered when it goes in search of its dreams. Because every second of that search is a second encounter with God, with the divine, and with eternity. Every second of the search is an encounter with the divine," the boy told his heart. That night, the boy slept deeply. And when he awoke, his heart began to tell him things. It began to tell him that these words and this feeling is coming from the soul of the world. It said, "Everyone on earth has a treasure that awaits him." We, people's hearts, because people no longer want to go in search of them, unfortunately. Very few then follow the path that is laid out before them, the path to their personal legends. So we, their hearts, speak more and more softly. We never stop speaking out, but we begin to hope that our words will be heard. We don't want people to suffer because they don't follow their hearts. From then on, the boy understood his heart. He asked it, "Please, never stop speaking to me." That night, he told all of this to the alchemist, and the alchemist understood that the boy's heart had returned to the soul of the world. "So what should I do now?" the boy asked. And this is where we stopped. And what we now go into supports our topic for today. "So what should I do now?" the boy asked. "Continue in the direction of the pyramid." We talked about that. Is your God-inspired aspirations and your divinely directed dreams. And the alchemist continued. He said, "Continue to pay heed to the omens." We talked about that. Your intuition, huge, your intuitive self. It is still capable of showing you where the treasure is. That would be the dream. "Is that the one thing I need to know?" asked the boy. "No," the alchemist replied. "What you still need to know is this. Before a dream is realized, the soul of the world tests everything that it has learned along the way. It does not do it because it is evil, but so that we can, in addition to realizing our dreams, master the lessons we've learned as we move toward that dream." That's the point, that is the point in which most people give up. It's the point in which we say in the desert, this is still the book, one dies of thirst just when the palm trees have appeared on the horizon. Every search begins with beginner's luck, and every search ends with the victor being severely tested. And with this knowledge, the boy continued. He continued his journey, and he was tested, and he was severely tested, but he met those tests, and not only found his treasure, but so much more. He found who he is. And if you were with us in February, you know that my own views on tests and life lessons is that life doesn't test us. Life does not test us or give us lessons. We do that. Rather, we call the experiences in so that we can grow, so that we can learn when we're open and receptive to receive that divine information that comes through our intuition all the time, so that we can heal. Heal the belief in separation, thinking was separate from the infinite divine energy that created all that is. And we can never be separate from that because we are that. And that's the important thing to remember. That's how I differ a little bit with the story in the book. The tests, I don't believe that. And we deepen into the knowing that this infinite dream, this energy, this loving force of good is closer to us than our hands, nearer to us than our breath. Here is the languaging. So I know I differ here with the languaging that is in the book, but not with the concept. Not with the concept. I've often said this, and it bears repeating again right now. It's not achieving the goal that matters, although that's really cool. That's nice, that's fun. We like to, I love manifesting goals. Nothing wrong with that. But what really matters is who we become in the process. Remember when you started, when you had an idea, a vision for your life, for you, something you wanted to experience at the beginning, and it seemed like here we are, and here's the bridge. And we likened it to Indiana Jones, where the steps appeared before him as he was crossing the bridge. So we're here and we don't know how to get to there. But with each step, we learn a little bit more about ourselves and how we relate to this allness of everything that is. We see the gap between the incubation and the manifestation so that we can reach the other side. Meaning, so that we can become who we really were meant to be. We were born with a dream in our hearts. We were born with it, each and every person, no one left out. Everyone had a vision when they were born, when they were a little child. What do you want to be? You know? I'll tell you mine. I wanted to only be an actress. So I was always performing. I was always, my sister will tell you, my sister said that. I was always writing songs and plays and performing them. But you know, life happened and trauma sets in and you kind of shut down. But then I ask you this, look at where I'm standing and look at what's in front of me. The same thing that was in front of me when I'm singing at 3 years old in the British movie theaters, which I used to go to every Saturday. So, it shows up when you're ready and in the correct way. In the correct way. So we each have that born within us. The alchemist said, before a dream is realized, the soul of the world tests everything that was learned along the way. It does this not because it's evil, but that we can, in addition to realizing our dreams, master the lessons we've learned as we move toward the dream. That's the point, he says, when most people give up. We can become very discouraged. It's not happening. Why isn't it happening fast enough? Why isn't it happening the way I think it should happen? It's so easy to give up. It's so easy. And here is the tool that will help you stay on the bridge until you reach the other side. And that tool is in a form of a question. The final tool that we will explore, this is the end of the series, and it's this: how much do you want what you say you want? How much do you want it? Really want it? Do you want it enough to face the test? Because things will come up. Things will come up. To use the word from, that's the test, is a word from the alchemist. But let me tell you about some people who didn't give up because they wanted it bad enough. They wanted it so much. Maybe you've heard of some of these. 4 young men in Liverpool in the 60s wanted their dream enough to keep going even after they were told by all the music executives that they didn't like their sound. And guitar bands were on their way out. Who would that might have been? Michael, who might that be? He loves the Beatles. Beatles, right? A young red-headed comedian wanted to make people laugh so much that she kept going to the head instructor of her acting school, who told her, try another profession, dear. Any other profession. Lucille Ball. I'm getting guppies the whole time. A young woman was this is amazing, was the 20th of 22 children. Right? She was born prematurely and her survival rate was very doubtful. When she was 4 years old, she contacted pneumonia and scarlet fever. So it left her with her left leg paralyzed, and she walked with a metal brace attached to her leg. However, at the age of 9, she decided she wanted to walk without that brace that she had been so dependent upon, and she began to walk without it. At 13, she decided to be a runner. And she wanted to enter a race, so she did. And she came in last. So for the next few years, every race she entered, she came in last. And so everyone told her to quit, of course, but she wanted it badly enough to keep on running. One day she actually won. And then she won the next one, and the next one, and she kept winning. Eventually, the little girl, who was told that she could never walk properly again, went on to win not one, not two, but 3 Olympic gold medals. In 1956 and 1960 Olympics. That was Wilma Rudolph. An inventor knew he was onto something, and he wanted to discover it. He wanted to discover it so much, thinking it would be important and really help humanity. Over 2,000 attempts before he got it right. That was Thomas Edison. This man also wanted to change the world. At 23, he ran for state legislature, and he lost the race. At age 29, he sought to become the speaker of the state legislature, and he was defeated. At age 31, he sought to become an elector, and he was defeated. At 34, he ran for Congress and lost. At age 37, he ran for Congress again, and this time he won. And he did a really good job. And so then he ran again for re-election at age 36, and he lost. At age 45, he ran for Senate of the United States and lost. At age 40, so now at some point, right? At age 47, he sought the vice presidential nomination of his party. Lost. At age 48, he ran for U.S. Senate for the second time, and for the second time he lost. Finally, at the age of 50, he ran for president of the United States, and he became the 16th president who changed the course of world history. And that was Abraham Lincoln. You just don't give up when you really want what you know you want. And if you really want it, you keep walking across that bridge. You keep moving despite what obstacles may seem in the way. Whatever is in front of you. As I always say, putting one foot in front of the other and just moving in that direction. How much do you want what you say you want? That's the question you take with you. And you ask yourself that. Enough to shake off whatever is thrown your way, to step over it? Or walking across the bridge, in our case, that's our metaphor. And remember this powerful line from The Alchemist. Every second of the search is a second encounter with God and with eternity. And so we have bridged the gap between the incubation and the manifestation of our God-inspired aspirations and divinely directed dreams and the actual tangible fruition of them. Taking the leap of faith, that's the first thing. It's just stepping out where it looks like there's nothing. It's the unknown. We don't know what's there. But you need the faith to know that next step will be supported by this universal love, because it always is. It always is. Prove it to yourself. That's what I say. Prove it to yourself. So today's tool being the question, how much do I want what I say I want? Am I willing to continue to shake it off, to move through whatever is thrown my way and keep moving forward? Let absolutely nothing deter us from our dreams. Nothing. I don't care what it is. I don't care what people say. Nothing to deter us from moving forward and living the life that we were meant to live. So to help us answer those questions, and they should be unequivocally yes, we're going to remember the words by Dr. Ernest Holmes in Living the Science of Mind, page 243 and 244. He wrote this: placing your entire trust, our complete faith, our whole conviction in the simple truth that we are rooted in the living Spirit and that we have access to the mind of the divine and to the love and the power and the peace of Spirit. We should walk in confidence and speak our spiritual conviction with complete assurance, knowing that there is a presence and there is a power with us, for us, and operating through us, a presence and a power that knows no defeat. There is no defeat in divine mind. There is zero defeat. It creates and always successfully because it doesn't know any kind of opposition to its own beautiful nature. The substance of infinite potentiality that is there for us to use. If we knew how powerful we were, there would be no doubts in our mind that we can accomplish anything that we truly want to accomplish. So I let it be, and so it is.